It was one of those mornings when the world felt like it had already made up its mind about you before you even opened your mouth. Rain poured hard against the city's gray skyline, and traffic roared like angry waves on the streets below. Outside the tall glass tower of Blackwell Industries, a man in a worn-out leather jacket stood, quietly, clutching a crumpled file. His name was Ethan Cole. A single father, a former engineer, a man who had known both brilliance and brokenness. The guard at the gate eyed him with suspicion, the kind reserved for those who clearly didn't belong among polished suits and million-dollar cars. Ethan's shoes were muddy, his eyes tired, and his hands calloused from late night repairs at a small auto shop. But there was something in his stance. Quiet, unshaken, like a soldier standing before battle. As he approached the front gate, the guard stepped forward with a smirk that could slice through the cold air. "Deliveries are around the back." The guard barked, his voice thick with disdain. Ethan simply nodded, gripping his file tighter. He wasn't here to deliver anything. He was here to reclaim something. His dignity, his dream, his son's future. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in never judging someone by how they look, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us share more stories that remind the world of compassion and hope. But the guard's laughter echoed as Ethan insisted. He had an appointment with Mr. Blackwell himself. Right? The guard sneered. "And I'm the president." Behind him, luxury cars rolled in. Men in tailored suits. Women in heels that clicked like clocks counting down to success. Ethan stood there, drenched, ignored, invisible. He tried again, his voice steady but soft, saying he had something the company needed to see. Something that could change everything. The guard crossed his arms, scoffing. "Buddy, billionaires don't take meetings with janitors." That word, janitor, stung like salt in an open wound. But Ethan didn't flinch. Instead, he slowly rolled up his sleeve. The guard's smirk faded as he caught sight of a faint but unmistakable tattoo. A small emblem, engraved in blue ink, Blackwell Innovations. Founding engineer. The guard blinked, confused. Ethan didn't need to say anything else. The man he'd just mocked had once built the very technology that made this company rich. Years ago, Ethan Cole had been one of the most brilliant minds in the early days of Blackwell Industries. Back then, he wasn't standing in the rain. He was sitting in boardrooms, sketching designs that would revolutionize clean energy. His ideas were raw, bold, ahead of their time. But when his wife Claire fell ill, his priorities shifted. He spent every dollar he had on her treatment, every minute balancing between hospital visits and deadlines. When she passed away, leaving behind a 4-year-old boy named Noah, Ethan's world collapsed. He missed one too many meetings, missed one too many deadlines, and the company that once praised him let him go without a second glance. He didn't fight it. He didn't have the strength to. He packed his things, walked away, and tried to rebuild his life for his son. For years, he lived quietly, working small jobs, fixing cars, tutoring kids in math at the local library. Anything to keep Noah fed and in school. But one night, while helping Noah with a school project, he stumbled upon one of his old prototypes. A compact generator that could run on recycled waste. It was the project he'd been working on the week he was fired. And in that quiet, dimly lit kitchen, he realized something. The design wasn't just good. It was revolutionary. If he could refine it, it could power homes for a fraction of the cost. It could change lives, so he worked nights again, not for fame, not for money, but for the dream his late wife once believed in. After months of sleepless nights, he perfected it. And now, he was here. Standing before a guard who didn't believe him, trying to get one meeting that could change everything. When the guard finally let him through, reluctantly, after a call from the assistant upstairs, Ethan was led into the lobby. He felt out of place among marble floors and glass walls that reflected everything he'd lost. People stared. A receptionist whispered to another. But Ethan ignored it all. He waited, patient, dripping rainwater onto the polished floor, until a woman in a crisp navy suit appeared. She introduced herself as Lydia, Miss Sturter, Blackwell's personal assistant, and led him into the executive floor. Inside, the world changed. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. The air smelled of money and control. Behind a sleek desk sat William Blackwell, the billionaire himself, mid-50s, silver-haired, eyes sharp like glass. He didn't smile. "You've got 5 minutes," he said. Not looking up from his tablet, Ethan placed the small metallic device on the table. His generator. He explained how it worked, how it could reduce energy costs by 70%, how it used recycled materials instead of fossil fuels. His voice trembled at first, but then it grew firm. Passion replaced fear. His eyes shone with purpose. But Blackwell only leaned back, unimpressed. "He moved past this model years ago," he said coldly. "There's no market for it." Ethan tried to explain it wasn't about the market. It was about people. "People are struggling, Mr. Blackwell. They're choosing between food and electricity. This could help them." The billionaire chuckled dryly, saying, "That's not how business works." For a moment, Ethan felt that familiar ache. That crushing sense of being small again. He almost picked up his prototype and walked away. But then he thought of Noah, the boy who waited at home, still believing his dad could fix anything. And in that instant, something inside him refused to give up. He said softly, "You know what's funny, Mr. Blackwell? When we first started this company, it wasn't about profit. It was about innovation, about making things better. You used to believe in that, you used to believe in me." The words hung heavy in the room. Blackwell finally looked up, eyes narrowing as recognition dawned. "Cole," he whispered. Ethan nodded. "Yeah, the guy you fired 12 years ago." The silence that followed could break glass. Blackwell's expression shifted, from annoyance, to realization, to something like shame. He rose from his chair, staring at Ethan as though seeing a ghost from a past he'd buried. Then, quietly, he said, "I thought you'd moved on." Ethan smiled faintly. "I did, until I realized I wasn't done yet." For the first time in years, the two men talked. Not as billionaire and stranger, but as the partners they once were. Ethan explained the new iteration of his design, showing how it outperformed existing models. He spoke not just with intelligence but with heart, and Blackwell listened. By the time the meeting ended, the rain outside had stopped. The city looked brighter somehow, as if something unseen had shifted.